At Devon Education Hub, we focus on the specific networking architecture required for competitive certifications like the Rajasthan Computer Instructor exam. A standard cellular phone operates on a GSM network. This communication is terrestrial, relying on a grid of ground-based cell towers to relay data between the device and the core network. A dedicated GPS unit bypasses that terrestrial grid entirely. It calculates its position by communicating directly with a constellation of satellites in orbit. While both devices are wireless, they occupy different branches of the communication tree. This diagram compares the two primary transport protocols. On the left, TCP executes a three-way handshake to ensure every packet is accounted for. On the right, UDP prioritizes speed, sending a fire and forget stream that doesn't wait for confirmation. This same distinction applies to security. HTTP transmits data in the clear, while HTTPS adds a layer of encryption. When we combine these components, terrestrial versus satellite, or reliability versus speed, the architecture of the entire network becomes clear. Moving beyond isolated definitions to see how these layers interlock is what allows us to solve the complex networking scenarios found in professional exams. This illustrates how we classify network scale and physical layout. Networks range from a local area network within a building to a wide area network spanning the globe. To connect these nodes, we use specific topologies: the centralized star, the fully redundant mesh, or the sequential ring. In a star topology, all traffic passes through a central hub or switch. Because a single cable failure only disconnects one specific node rather than the entire system, this has become the standard for modern LAN environments. The physical medium determines the network's capacity. These workers are installing fiber optic cables, which use pulses of light to transmit data. Fiber provides significantly higher bandwidth and lower latency than traditional copper wire because it is immune to electromagnetic interference. Networking has evolved from legacy circuit switching, which reserved a dedicated physical line for every connection, to modern packet switching. Today, data is decomposed into small, independent packets that navigate the most efficient route through the network before reassembling at the destination. The physical layer is the bedrock of the stack. Its only responsibility is to move raw bits between devices, creating the hardware foundation that every high-level software protocol relies on. This chart aligns the two primary models used to describe network functions. The 7-layer OSI model provides a detailed theoretical breakdown, while the 4-layer TCP/IP model reflects the practical internet. Note that TCP/IP condenses the application, presentation, and session layers into one. As data moves down these layers, it undergoes encapsulation. It starts as a raw data unit at the application layer, becomes a segment at the transport layer, a packet at the network layer, a frame at the data link layer, and finally exits as bits on the physical wire. We can map specific hardware to these operational layers. Hubs and repeaters work at layer 1. Switches function at layer 2, using MAC addresses to direct frames. Routers operate at layer 3, using IP addresses to route packets between different networks. Understanding this specific mapping between hardware and layers is a high-yield skill. When you identify the layer a device operates on, you simultaneously identify the type of data it handles and the addressing it uses. Identifying a device requires different types of addressing. A MAC address is a permanent 48-bit hardware identifier. In contrast, an IPv4 address is a logical 32-bit address. To handle the billions of modern devices, we have transitioned to the 128-bit IPv6 standard. IPv4 is divided into 5 classes, with A, B, and C being the most common for standard networking. Within these classes, specific ranges are reserved for private IPs. These internal addresses are used on local LANs and are never routed directly over the public internet. Take a moment to calculate the network and broadcast IDs for 192.168.1.50 with a /26 subnet mask. A /26 mask means the first 26 bits are fixed. By converting to binary and applying a logical AND, we find the network ID is 192.168.1.0. Setting the remaining host bits to 1 gives us a broadcast ID of 192.168.1.63. Subnetting is simply a boundary exercise. It determines exactly where the broad network neighborhood ends and the individual host address begins. When a device first joins a network, it uses DHCP to obtain an IP via the four-step DORA process: discover, offer, request, and acknowledge. Once connected, it uses DNS to translate a human-readable URL into the numerical IP address needed for routing. To find the actual hardware on the local segment, the device uses ARP. It broadcasts a request to find the physical MAC address associated with that new destination IP. Finally, traffic hits the gateway. Since private IPs can't travel the public internet, the router uses Network Address Translation, or NAT. The router swaps your device's private source IP with its own public IP, acting as a middleman to facilitate the global connection. This choreographed sequence of protocols, DHCP for the address, DNS for the name, ARP for the hardware, and NAT for the gateway, is what makes local communication with the global internet possible. Let's consolidate the essential port numbers. HTTP operates on 80, while HTTPS uses 443. Remote access via SSH is port 20. Email moves via SMTP on port 25, and DNS resolution happens on port 53. Distinguishing these protocols is vital. Real-time video and voice streaming almost always rely on UDP. In hardware, remember that a switch populates a MAC address table to route frames efficiently, whereas a hub simply broadcasts traffic to every port. Mastering these fundamental relationships is the key to successfully navigating technical exams. Thank you for studying with Devon Education Hub. Like and subscribe for more deep dives, and download our full networking cheat sheet at the link below.